Zendaya Coleman, she plays Rocky Blue on Disney's hit show Shake It Up and was a finalist on Dancing with the Stars. But this 16-year-old beauty has the brains and the loyal fans to become the next big global music star. I talked to her and her father about what it took for Zendaya to get to where she is and what her fans can expect in the coming years. This is a show about business and branding.
Oh, yeah.
And you're a brand. One thing about you is that you're engaged in your business. What do you think that Dancing with the Stars did for your brand?
I think it gave me a nice platform, you know, to open up to more audiences than just the one that I was exposed to. Because originally, you know, I have my little 12-year-olds, but now I have the 12-year-olds and their moms, and their moms' moms, and, you know, a lot more generations that, you know, look to me and are supporting me. And I feel like, you know, that's the great thing about the show, is it kind of opened me up to new audiences.
And you're 16, you turned 17 September 1st. You came from Oakland to LA when you were how old, 13?
Yes.
Okay. You wanted to be in the business.
I did.
Tell me what your life was like before that.
You know, I was technically a normal kid, even though I still consider myself a normal kid. I'm a normal kid with a very abnormal lifestyle. I've always had a very strong passion for the arts, and I really, ever since I was little, I could not see myself doing anything else, and I still can't. You know, this is the only thing that I could possibly imagine myself doing. There's no way that I could just be in a school doing technically regular stuff. That's not what I'm cut out for. And
so you don't feel like you're missing out on the high school experience?
I don't, because I feel like, you know, it's a give and take kind of thing. I think a lot of 16-year-olds, they may get to go to school dances, hang out with their friends, but how many of them get to say they inspire little kids all the time, that they were on Dancing with the Stars, and, you know, they're living their dreams and they're living to their full potential, and you know, so they get to say they do that, but I get to say I do this, so I'm not really missing out.
And your father, Kazembe, is a big part of everything. He helps to manage your career and move your career along. He moved with you.
He did.
One thing about a lot of the young stars, the people that I think that you've told me that you admire, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Knowles, they started out young.
Yeah.
But you could tell from watching them that they wanted it, not their parents forcing them to do it. Is that how it was for you?
Of course. I think my parents were the ones that listened to me, and they were supportive in my dreams, and I feel like they knew how much I wanted it, and I was, you know, I'm blessed enough to have parents that are willing to nurture my dreams and make them happen with me. And so that's what we did. And you know, I don't do anything that I don't love. If I don't enjoy it, then it's not worth it. That I wouldn't be here if I didn't, you know, love what I do. When
you moved to LA, you were only 13, but it didn't take long for you to really launch right into your dream. Tell me what happened.
Well, you know, I started working out in LA when I was maybe like 12 and a half, and I wanted to do more than just print. I was doing like print and little, you know, commercials and baby stuff that really, you know, you might see me in a commercial or you probably won't because I was so far in the background. It was little stuff, but I knew I was destined to do things that were bigger, so I started going on bigger auditions, and within the 6 months of my dad and I traveling back and forth from Oakland to LA, maybe up to 3 to 4 times a week, I got my show. So it happened very, very fast, and I think it's because I knew what I wanted, and it was not a matter of if, it was just a matter of when.
Hi, I feel really bad for Tinka, okay? And I'm your sister. I never ask you for anything. All you have to do is rehearse a little and go with her to the audition. Please!
And of course you play Rocky Blue on Shake It Up. Tell me what's happening with that show.
Well, Shake It Up, we wrapped up the 3rd season. We don't know if we're coming back for a 4th season. But the 3rd season, you know, we have some great episodes coming up, and I feel like I've really enjoyed myself on that show. I've grown as an actress. I learned, you know, about comedy. It's something that it was very new to me, television. And so to go in there and now say that I'm a pro at that, you know, that's what I've been doing that for 3 years every day, you know, like I'm straight with that, and now I can say I'm a ballroom dancer now, you know, so it's all these things that I get to add to my belt.
So you love music?
I do.
You have a record on Hollywood Records coming out, which is owned by Disney. What does it sound like?
It sounds like Zendaya. I think that's the most important thing. Is everything I do is 120% me, and it's genuine, and I feel like I'm very, you know, artistically involved in everything I do, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that everything that I put out is from me. And there's no one telling me how to do it. There's no one controlling my style, or I'm very hands-on, and I'm very...
So your style, is it kind of dancey? Is it R&B? Is it in pop? What is it?
It's rhythmic pop,
okay.
I decided, because I'm a big fan of hip hop, and I'm a big fan of pop music. So it's kind of taking that pop sound and, edging it up, add a little more urban twist to it, and make some really quality music.
You have a relationship with a company called Mobley,
yeah,
which is a platform for managing photos and digital content on the web. And you took stock in that company.
I did.
What's up with that?
Well, it's a social media company, and I feel like being a young kid, social media is very important to us. And it's my lifeline. Like, I have my phone with me all the time, and I know all my friends do. And, it was a smart decision in that way.
But you didn't just take an outright payment. You actually have some ownership in this company. Do you see taking ownership in companies as an important thing that you'd like to do going forward?
Of course I do. I think I am a young business lady, and I'm learning at 16. And of course my dad and my mom, they're big part, they're hands-on that, but they want me to learn and grow with them. So I'm on all the phone calls. I listen in, and I make sure that I am a part of it, because this is the time that I grow. I mean, they're not going to run everything for me forever. I'm going to have to take over all by myself one day, and I want to make sure that I am prepared for that.
Is that something your parents told you, or is that something that also in your heart that you need to do?
I think it's a mixture of both. I feel like that's kind of the way I was raised, A. And B, it's something that I just know to be right. I've always been kind of conscientious of my future and what I wanted in my life and the goals I'm going to. And I always think about what's next. And, forward in my life, I'm going to have a career that hopefully is very, very strong. And I'm gonna need to take care of that, and I'm gonna need to know how to do it. So I'm trying to go through business school right now at 16, and then it'll be much easier.
One of the things that you've really mastered and done well with is social media. Your Twitter audience is now about to be 3 million. During the Dancing with the Stars time period, you were getting about 100,000 Twitter followers every week, every show, right?
Yeah.
What advice can you give to people? What do you think the key to your Twitter success has been in building that audience so effectively?
Well, being genuine. I feel like people connect to people who are genuine. When you show your personality through your Twitter, or you show more about yourself, I feel like people connect to actual human beings, not robots. If you're following someone on Twitter and everything they say is, hey, I'm going to be at such and such mall, come check me out. Nobody wants to see that. That's not interesting, that's not provoking, that's not personal. I feel like it's more personal when you really do say, hey, my dog is asleep on me right now, and you tweet a picture of that. I feel like that's more personable, it's more relatable, and it draws people to you because you're human. You show that you're also real,
Right. And it's funny because what you're saying runs counter to the tradition in Hollywood. The tradition over the past, probably 5 years it's been this way, or 10 years this way. But before that, celebrities were a lot of them wanted mystique, and they wanted to not show their lives.
Very mysterious.
They fought the paparazzi. You think this generation really wants their celebrities to be more open?
I do. I think, well, at least knowing, as being a young kid and examining it that way, I feel like, growing up and watching even, That's So Raven and stuff like that, and Hannah Montana, you want to know what their favorite food is. You want to know what they like to do, and you want to, feel like you're connected and you're like them in a way.
Is there a point that you say, oh man, that's just too much? This is one part of my life that I don't want to share with my fan base.
I could see that, but there's nothing I have to hide. There's no part of my life that I feel needs to be so locked down, because it doesn't expose me in that kind of way. I feel like there's nothing I have to expose or anything. There's no secret crazy drama. I'm really just a normal kid.
It's something because a lot of the kids that we see in Hollywood have a hard time because they get involved in parties and the things that normal kids want to do. Do you ever want to go to parties? Do you get to do all of that stuff, or what is it?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I am boring. I'm extremely boring. I think some people are cut out for this business, and some people aren't. And I'm literally cut out for this because I hate partying, and
What do you know about partying?
Nothing. I don't need to know about partying
right.
because it's not an interest to me. I would much rather be in a studio, or much rather be working somehow towards my dream than partying. It's not going to get me anywhere.
So that's something that your parents haven't had to stop you on.
They don't really have to monitor me too much. I think they did a good job of raising me.
I'm going to talk to your dad. I'm going to ask him. That's for sure.
Going to bed on time, I stay on the internet. That's my problem. That's about as much trouble as I get in, is trying to get me to bed on time.
And as your fans grow older, how do you get them to stay with you? Because a lot of young people, they might like Bieber when they're young, but then all of a sudden 2 years later, they're like, no, I'm not into him anymore.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
I think my main thing is to grow with your audience, and to especially not to try to outgrow your audience too quick. Because I'm saying, I have a lot of young kids watching me. I'm not going to all of a sudden start catering to Rihanna's audience and neglect the audience that I have. Because they're the ones that support me, and they're the ones that have started my career. So why would I do that? So it's about growing in the right way and blending to all of them.
I hear that there's an ongoing debate in your household. Both of your parents are teachers, and they have different ideas as to when you should attend college.
Yes.
Have you thought about college?
Yes.
And are there colleges that you've looked at or that you might want to attend, and when do you think you'll go?
I think I definitely want to go to college, for sure, 120%, because I feel like it's important to get your full education.
What do you want to study?
Me, I want to, here's how I'm going to set it up. I want to do all my entertainment stuff and win all my Grammys, do all my good stuff now when I can, and when it's, you have to strike while the iron is hot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get all that in, be financially stable. That way, I can pay to go to a good college and not have to worry about that kind of struggle. So everything's going to be taken care of. I wouldn't even have to work if I didn't want to. That's the idea. And then I will go to college, and I want to become a child psychologist.
Okay. You know what's funny is I'm thinking about the fact that Kobe Bryant is kind of a mentor of yours.
Yes.
And he's a person that went right from high school right into the NBA, who could probably go to college now after his career ends.
Of course.
Have you talked to him about any of this?
I haven't asked him yet, but that's actually a very good question. And I think, he's had an amazing career, and he's a very inspiring person because he never gives up and he works hard. And that's, a big motto of mine is to, never give up, to work hard and put everything you have into what you do.
Have your parents introduced you to music from their generation that you like?
Of course.
What stuff?
Everything. I'm very well versed in music in general, because I feel like we need to know the past in order to create the future. So I feel like it's very sad when I talk to a kid my age who doesn't listen to Stevie Wonder, or doesn't know who Donny Hathaway is, or doesn't know, that's a problem. I think that's the issue for me. And that's why I feel like I should be a spokesperson for that,
Okay.
Making sure that, my fans know who's who and what's what, and not even just in music in general. I think just in life. That's why when I, on Twitter or whatever, I post quotes, of Maya Angelou, and, just things that are very rich in culture that I think sometimes are missing in my generation, and make it cool. It should be cool.
So when you move forward, what is it that you want Zendaya to mean when a company aligns with you, when someone hires you to do a big concert? What do you want that name to represent?
I want it to be a name that is very trusted, and known that, if there's any kind of, partnership or branding opportunity that I make, they need to know that, when we get into those kind of situations, it's a trustworthy situation, and I want to have a consistent track record. I don't want to be one of those people that, I don't know, you put them on that, I don't know what you're going to get, You go with Zendaya, you're always going to be in good hands.
All right. Is there someone out there that's older, that's been in the game as an entertainer, that you look at and you say, you know what, I like the way things have worked out for them?
I definitely would say Beyonce is one of my favorites. I would say that because she's had an amazing career, in general, but not just because she's had an amazing career, but because she, you know, she stands for something. And you know, as a young lady, it's nice to see someone who's classy and elegant, and that's a good thing to see. That I can, you know, I can
even
look
with
at.
some of the clothing that she's been wearing lately.
You know, she's also a grown woman, and that's the difference. Is I am still 16, and she's grown, and she can do what she wants. I'm not necessarily going to wear what she's wearing, but I can respect that she's true talent. And, you know, she literally puts everything she has into what she does. And I think that that is the admirable thing.
Have you had a chance to meet Beyonce yet?
I have not. But one day.
Why don't you give her a call?
I don't know her number.
Okay.
Trust me, if I had her number, I would have been called.
Okay, do you hear? Here's your protege here. She wants to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hopefully you will get that call soon. I think it'll be a lot sooner than you expect.
All right.
Zendaya, thank you so much.
Thank you for
having me. It's good to see
me.
you again.
You too.
And continue to move forward and check in with us as things progress.
I will.
And with Zendaya Coleman, I'm Lee Hawkins. We'll see you next time.
So you want your children to be independent of you and to make their own choices, to be informed so that they can make the right choices?
I'm a big fan of hip hop, and I'm a big fan of pop music. So it's kind of taking that pop sound and, you know, edging it up, add a little more urban twist to it, and make some really quality music.